Hi, this is Nathan Oxenfeld with Integral Eyesight Improvement. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time to explain the fact that you can improve your vision naturally using the Bates method and explaining exactly what it is that I do to help facilitate people to achieve that goal. And this idea was actually suggested by someone who I just met last month. I just got back from attending my first International Holistic Vision Conference in Edinburgh, Scotland. And while I was in Europe, I spent a little extra time traveling and teaching. I ended up offering 5 free natural vision improvement walks in 5 different cities across 5 different countries. Which, by the way, that trip was truly amazing. And I just put up a new blog post on my website that shares a little photo essay of some of the places that I saw and the people that I met. So if you want to check that out, head over to integraleyesight.com/Europe 2017. But one of the women who came out to one of my vision walks said that she's been loving watching my videos and actually experiencing improvements already on her own, so much so that she was interested in sharing this with other people. But she felt like she wasn't totally sure the best way to explain it, exactly how it works, or even really which one of my videos or podcasts to send to them to introduce them to this concept. So that's exactly what I want to do today. Before I explain exactly what I do though, first let me say what I do not do. I am not an eye doctor. So I do not prescribe glasses or contacts, I do not diagnose eye diseases or problems, and I do not condone laser eye surgery. Some people actually view me as sort of the opposite of an eye doctor, because I'm actually trying to get people out of glasses and to prevent or avoid surgeries. But even though I might be the opposite of an eye doctor, what I do is not necessarily a full replacement of a regular eye doctor routine. So I encourage all of my vision students to still go and see their eye doctor regularly to get checkups, make sure everything is healthy and working functionally. Ideally, you can find an eye doctor who is open to the alternatives that I'm about to explain so that you have some support from your eye doctor through the process. But although I am not an eye doctor, I am a natural vision educator. And the main thing that I teach is called the Bates method. And the Bates method is a scientific system of vision training and vision rehabilitation that was developed by a New York ophthalmologist named Dr. William Bates, almost 100 years ago now. And Dr. Bates was one of the first people to really question the role of glasses. He really understood that the glasses were just treating the symptoms of the vision problems his patients were experiencing. And it's the same with the contacts and the surgeries, the laser surgeries. They're just treating the symptoms while actually pushing the underlying root cause further down. So that is essentially what the Bates method tries to do, is tries to address the actual underlying root causes of vision problems instead of just treating the symptoms. And what Dr. Bates found was that when he taught people simple ways to relax their eyes and relax their mind and learn these vision rehabilitation practices and habits, his patients began becoming able to focus again with just their naked eyes without relying on artificial lenses. Some of the claims of the Bates method at first can sound a little outstanding, a little fantastic, sometimes even hard to believe at first. But the more you sit with it, the more you think about it, it really just is common sense. I mean, we know the entire body has tremendous healing and rehabilitative powers and potential. And it's so strange that the eyeballs are the only things that get left out of that entire paradigm. You know, if you broke your ankle, you definitely would not be okay with walking around using crutches for the rest of your life and just assuming, oh, I broke my ankle, I can't use my ankle anymore. No, you would go to a physical therapist and do some rehabilitative stretches to regain the function, do the weight bearing, so that you can relearn to walk and use your ankle again without needing the crutches. And that's kind of what the Bates method does for your eyes. Instead of just assuming that, oh, I can't see, I'll never be able to see, my eyes are never going to work again, I'll have to wear these visual crutches until the day I die. Instead, you want to try to give your eyes an opportunity to heal and to rehabilitate and to regain their function so that eventually you will be able to see without depending on the visual crutches anymore. So people who used to wear reading glasses could start to read books and newspapers and magazines up close without glasses. And people who needed glasses to see in the distance could start to read the eye chart in the distance better and better, all the way down to 20/20 eventually. And it wasn't just limited to nearsightedness and farsightedness. Dr. Bates found that his methods were actually benefiting people with other issues like astigmatism and dry eyes and glaucoma and cataracts and macular degeneration and detached retina. And so many vision problems were starting to slow down their progression and sometimes even start to backtrack, start to reverse. Because think about it, when you remove the cause of the problem, there's nothing contributing to it getting worse. So it just either stabilizes or actually starts to decrease or disappear. Now, since the Bates method is a form of holistic eye care, it's a holistic approach, the way we remove that root cause is by addressing it from as many different angles as possible. Not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So, the Bates method teaches a combination of relaxation techniques to relax the eyes and to relax the mind. But it also incorporates mental focusing techniques, ways to calm down the mind, focus the mind, which eventually translates through into the eyes and into the eyesight. It also takes the emotional component into account, so it invites you to think about the deeper connections with your vision problem of what could have caused the blur or the vision issue in the first place. And the clearer you get about your individual root causes, the clearer you can become about what exactly you need to do to address those root causes and move into a new chapter with your eyes and your vision. Now, the Bates method does also incorporate lots of other vision training techniques that work with your depth perception, your convergence and divergence, your eye teaming and tracking abilities, your brain balance, your fusion, and really just the overall function of your eye organs and your visual system. But doing all that stuff on its own is not enough. Too many people think that the Bates method is just a set of eye exercises, that you set aside some time in your day, you do them, and then you're done. But that's not it. It's combining your vision practices, the physical and mental techniques, with vision habits. And these are things that are going on in the background anytime you're using your eyes throughout the day. So not when you're doing specific vision practices, but what about when you're at work, or you're at school, or you're driving, or you're in a social situation? How are you using your eyes then? How do your eyes feel? So the Bates method is not just the eye exercises. The eye exercises are actually designed to teach you the vision habits so that eventually you don't have to do the exercises as much anymore because your eyes and your mind and your visual system have memorized or learned the correct vision habits, the right way to work all day long without you even having to think about it. That's what the Bates method tries to do, is tries to get your vision to become unconscious or subconscious again in a correct way. Because if you were to go up to anybody who doesn't wear glasses and they have perfect vision and you asked, hey, what are you doing to see clearly? What are you physically doing? What are you thinking about? How are you seeing near and far? Their answer would be nothing at all. They're not thinking about it. They're not trying. They're not forcing it. Their vision is just happening to them. But people with vision problems, it's often the opposite. They are trying to make the vision happen. They're trying to force the focus near or far. And interfering with an automatic impulse like vision is what causes a lot of these problems in the first place. So the Bates method is not about trying harder to see clearly. It's actually about trying less. You're trying to let go and step aside, get out of the way of your visual process from happening like all of your other senses happen automatically and involuntarily. So when you start practicing the Bates method, what you start to experience are temporary improvements in your vision. And I call these flashes of clarity because all of a sudden you'll get a flash of clear vision. You can see clearly far if you're nearsighted, or you can see clearly near if you're farsighted. But at first, it only lasts for a few moments because when you see clearly, you get really excited and you're not able to stay relaxed and stay calm. And so you lose the clarity and it goes back to the old way of being blurry. But that's what the Bates method tries to do, is tries to encourage more flashes of clarity to give you more practice at staying relaxed so that you don't panic and get too excited when you can actually see again without your glasses. So once the flashes start lasting for a couple seconds, and then fading away. Eventually they'll last for 5 seconds, and then for 10 seconds, and then for 30 seconds. And then the more 30-second flashes you get, then they start to lengthen out to 1-minute flashes, and then 2-minute flashes, and then 5-minute flashes. And then the more multiple minute flashes you get, they start to stretch out to be a couple hours, or a whole afternoon, or a whole day. And eventually, the flash does not go away. That flash of clarity becomes the new baseline. That's your new baseline vision that you generally stay around. So your vision has improved. And you might imagine that if that happens, your old original pair of glasses are going to be too strong, because now they're overcorrecting your vision that has gotten better on its own. So in part of this process, you do need to use weaker glasses as you step down and gradually wean off of your prescription. So that's exactly what Dr. Bates saw happening in his patients when he was alive 100 years ago. That's what happened for me, because I wore glasses and contacts for nearly 15 years for astigmatism and myopia. And that's what I've seen happen in a lot of my vision students, is a gradual reawakening of the focusing muscles of the eyes, a reconnection of the eyes and the mind, where your vision actually takes place in your visual cortex, and regaining independence from artificial lenses. And at first it's just a small independence, just going on a walk without glasses, or doing the dishes without glasses, or doing some yoga or meditation or exercise, or bike riding without glasses. But over time, your independence grows and your confidence grows as well. And the more time you spend without your glasses, the more chances there are for you to get these flashes of clarity. And it's only when you have those personal experiences with the method and with the benefits and the improvements that you'll truly understand how it works and that it is possible. So I remember when I first started, I was still a little skeptical, a little doubtful, like, is this really going to work? Is this really possible? But once I actually started seeing the changes happening through my own two eyes, it didn't matter what I read in a book or what I saw in a video, because I had my own personal experience with it. And that was the ultimate truth and proof for me. So I definitely encourage you to watch these videos and to read books about the Bates method and read other people's case histories and success stories, because they're very inspiring and they help motivate you to follow through with this on your own. But beyond all of that, I really hope that you can have your own personal experience with this so that you can know for sure that it works for you. We all know the old saying of use it or lose it. And we need to apply that to our eyes. As long as we're using glasses or contacts, we are not using our eyes. We're taking the job away from the focusing muscles and giving it to the glasses and contacts to do for them. So when you remove your glasses or your contacts and you practice the correct vision training techniques and habits and practices, you are inviting your eyes to start to do their job again on their own. And sometimes it takes time for the eyes to relearn how to work. That's why this is not a quick fix approach. It's more of a long-term, gradual retraining, self-healing process. But it doesn't take very long to start experiencing those first improvements, those first initial temporary flashes of clarity. Some people even start to see those in the first day or first week that they take their glasses off. But in terms of turning those little miniature improvements into bigger, more permanent improvements, that's when you need to really stick with it for the long term and dedicate yourself to the practice until you achieve those vision goals. And that's where I come in. Once I went through this process myself personally to improve my own vision and get rid of my glasses, I became determined to make this be what I do as a living, of helping other people go through the same process and achieve the same results that I did, to make it easier for you, to take the guesswork out of it. So I actually trained to become a certified Bates Method teacher underneath my vision teacher who helped me improve my vision, Dr. Jerry Ann Tabor. And since I started my vision practice almost 5 years ago now, I've helped dozens and dozens of people improve their vision naturally, and some of them have even gone all the way to the point where they've given up their glasses for good. They can read up close without reading glasses. Many of them have passed the vision test at the DMV to get their license without a vision restriction. And often those are the students who I work with individually. So the two main ways that I teach the Bates method and help people make this a part of their lives is either individually through one-on-one vision training or through one of my online courses. So the one-on-one training is definitely the most individualized because it's just you and me sitting down, speaking, going through the practices for over an hour together, and not only teaching you the step-by-step hands-on physical practices, but also helping you understand the deeper vision habits contained within the practices, as well as also coaching you through how to integrate this into your daily schedule and also how to access these good vision habits at work or at school or on the computer. So people usually get really good results with the private lessons because you get the most attention from me as your coach and your teacher. But I also have 2 different online courses. I have a 6-week individual online course called the Holistic Vision Program that is all solo. You go through the videos on your own, follow along with me in the videos, and it's a little bit more self-contained. I also have a 12-week group online course where I take a group of students through 3 months of vision training, where each week you get new videos to watch, and every other week I teach a live vision class where you can tune in and ask questions and get some support from me in real time. I also have self-published a book called Give Up Your Glasses for Good, Holistic Eye Care for the 21st Century. That is available online, but keep in mind I'm getting ready to release the new 3rd edition of it. So if you don't have it already, you might want to wait a little bit to get the most updated information about the training. But the current edition is available online and you can get that. Ideally, it is designed to actually accompany my vision lessons or my vision courses, but I did also make it with the intention of it being able to stand alone as well. So it contains over 50 vision practices with step-by-step instructions and pictures and everything. So it's very hands-on, experiential type book, sort of like a handbook. And those are definitely the ways to guarantee probably the better results, the best results to get out of the vision training process. But I've also spent a lot of time and work putting out a lot of free material as well. I've got a lot of instructional videos on YouTube that teach you actual practices that you can follow along with and actually try and have experience with on your own. I've released lots of podcast episodes. I'm always writing blog posts and articles and trying to put new stuff out. I also have a regular email newsletter called Eyesight Insights. So this is definitely my calling and my passion, and I love sharing information about this and exposing more people to this work. I know when I first learned about the Bates Method, I got a little overwhelmed because there's so many different practices you can do, there's so many different things to try. But what's going to be helpful for you to understand is that all of these different practices are really just trying to help you accomplish the same end goal, which is relaxation of your entire nervous system, your visual system, your brain, and your eyes. It's not any more complicated than that. If you encounter any kind of vision training or vision improvement thing that isn't about relaxation, if it's about trying or putting effort into your vision or trying really hard or strengthening the eye muscles or working them out, that's not going to take you very far. The way to get 100% improvement in your vision is to approach it in a very gentle way, emphasize relaxation and vision training in a relaxed way, and also making the necessary other transformations beyond the physical. So exploring the mental landscape of your vision, exploring the emotional root causes of your vision issues, and also thinking about your vision in a bigger term. Instead of just thinking about your vision as your eyesight, start to think about your vision as also your insight, your beliefs, your worldview, your perception, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. It can really go beyond your eyes and really encompass many other areas of your life. So although at first the Bates Method might seem as just a way to improve your eyesight or to get rid of glasses, the deeper into it you get, the more you realize that it really can be all-encompassing and lead to much bigger transformations in the rest of your body and mind and life beyond just your eyes. So just to summarize, when I learned about the Bates Method, I was still wearing glasses and contacts every day to depend on to help me see in the distance for myopia and astigmatism. Then over a period of 3 or 4 years working first by myself and then with the help of a vision teacher, I was able to gradually wean off of my glasses and begin to see 20/20 without them. And that transformative experience motivated me to become a vision teacher myself to help other people go through a similar process. So I simply teach people how to do exactly what I did, which is use the Bates Method in conjunction with other healing modalities, including yoga, meditation, breathwork, diet, nutrition, other forms of healing, 2, gradually become independent from glasses and regain focusing ability near and far. And although I'm based in North Carolina, USA at the moment, I work with people from all over the world, from all different age groups, with all different types of vision problems. And I teach these people how to apply the Bates method practices that involve different types of movement techniques, light therapy, vision training techniques, relaxation techniques, mental focusing practices to improve your clarity, imagination, memory, visualization, focus. I also work a lot with people teaching them how to read fine print up close and how to read eye charts in the distance without glasses. And then how to apply those skills and techniques out in the real world on three-dimensional objects. So I help these people through in-person training, online vision lessons, or through my online courses. Or some people just use my book or use my videos to kind of do it DIY style, do it on their own. But from my own experience, the best results and the benefits come when you are working with a professional under the supervision and guidance of a certified Bates method teacher who has already gone through this process and can help guide you through and navigate so you don't make any wrong turns or do something incorrectly. When you start practicing the Bates method, you start experiencing flashes of clarity, temporary improvements, giving you more independence from your glasses and more confidence seeing without your glasses. The more those flashes come and the longer they last, that eventually becomes your new vision, and you can drop down to weaker and weaker glasses over time until eventually you no longer need a prescription. You can think about the Bates method as a form of physical therapy for your eyes, as a way to reactivate the physical focusing abilities of the eyes. But remember, it's not just physical, it's also mental therapy of the mind, because we're working on changing the entire visual system and rewiring the brain. So we're working with the concept of neuroplasticity, that with the correct repetitive stimuli through the eyes, we are able to create new neurons, carve new neural pathways, and establish these new neural connections. But remember, in order to make a new neural connection permanent or long-lasting, it has to be stimulated regularly for 30 to 60 days. So if you start it and then you stop it, you might get some temporary improvements, but then they fade away again. So that's why repetition, frequency, and dedication to the Bates method are really the necessary keys for success. Some people who think it doesn't work or they give up on it is because they don't stick with it and they don't get through that initial phase of they are putting in the time and the energy, but they may not have seen many benefits or improvements quite yet. So if you can make it through that first phase, past that threshold where you start to actually get those flashes of clarity, then you're in a really good spot to keep moving forward and keep accumulating these benefits and improvements until they become long-lasting and permanent vision habits. Speaking of habits, the Bates method is a combination of doing vision practices and maintaining good vision habits when you're not doing your vision practices. So when you're at work, when you're at school, when you're driving, when you're with friends, how are you using your eyes in the rest of your day aside from the time you spend doing specific vision practices? You can't just do the practices and think that that's going to be enough. You have to combine the practices with the ongoing habits. So it's really an awareness practice of paying attention to how your eyes are feeling in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, and listening to them and actually doing something to take care of them when they are sending you signals that they're tired or tensed or strained, and taking action on that to actually consciously release the strain and replace it with relaxation. So getting your vision back naturally depends on movement, upon light, upon central fixation, upon proper blinking and breathing and shifting, as well as the proper mental techniques involving your memory, imagination, and visualization. And all of these visual skills that can be developed. It's like learning an instrument or a new language. The skill of sight does not just have to get worse and worse and worse and deteriorate as you get older. It can actually get better and better and better as you age if you treat it like a skill that requires practice. So just understand that this is a different way to think about your eyes, to think about your vision, and it's actually a much more empowering way to think about your body and your mind as having the ability to change and to improve over time, little by little. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to challenge some of the old notions or concepts in your mind that you got from parents or teachers or eye doctors that tell you that you can't do this. I'd like you to question that, and I'd like you to challenge that. Maybe you don't want to accept the lifelong sentence of glasses or contacts, and you want to explore some simple, easy, natural ways to get out of that path and into a more independent, balanced, harmonious state of your eye health and vision overall. And that's really the overall goal of the Bates method, is to encourage overall eye health. Not just to see more clearly, that's just one side effect that comes from increasing your eye health. We want to open up all the channels of the eyes. We want to get more blood flow to the eyes, more energy flow, more lymph flow to purify the eyes and cleanse the eyes. We want the nutrients and minerals that we're eating in our food to make it up to the eyes and absorb into the parts they're supposed to. And we want to get the eyes and the mind in a really good, balanced, connected state. Because I believe that clear vision is a birthright that is supposed to last throughout life. It's not something that we're only supposed to have for a couple years and then we lose it and we have to rely on artificial lenses to see. This isn't for everyone, but for those of you who have a gut feeling that your eyes can heal or they can change or your vision can actually get better instead of worse, then this is exactly what you should be pursuing and researching and looking into. And I'm glad that you found it, because the multi-billion-dollar-a-year optical industry has done a really good job over the past 100 years of keeping these holistic and alternative approaches out of the mainstream. So please feel free to share this video with someone that you'd like to introduce to this concept. Let them know that holistic eye care exists and that it's actually really simple and easy. It just takes time, repetition, and dedication. Improving your vision naturally does not have to be hard or difficult. People actually tend to get better results the more they're able to consider it to be an easy thing and a fun thing. So if that's something that you need help with, then I definitely encourage you to seek out some help from a teacher, either locally or online. And if you're interested in learning more about the Bates method or getting more involved in the vision training process, I'd encourage you to visit my website, integraleyesight.com. Consider maybe setting up an initial vision consultation with me where I can learn your full vision history and explain this process on a more individualized level. Look into my different online vision courses or check out my book. Or just check out some of my other videos or podcasts. There's a lot out there for you to learn, and the benefits are going to be very far-reaching and hopefully will last the remainder of your entire life. As long as you've got two eyes in your head, you should know how to take good care of them and know what to do when something goes wrong with them. So hopefully this has left you feeling inspired and empowered to actually take action and do something good for your eyes today. Do something to make your eyes happy and healthy today. Swing your eyes, palm your eyes, sun your eyes. Take a break from the computer, close your eyes, massage the area around your eyes, give them a little break. Just do something to take care of your eyes today, or even right now. So if you have any suggestions or ideas of something you'd like me to make a video about or a podcast about, let me know and I'll be happy to consider that. So I'd like to thank you for taking some time to listen today, as well as wish you a relaxing rest of your day.